what we're doing today is we're going to try to fix this weird bug where basically in the text mode browser, all of this work right now is in the text mode browser, which is, we haven't merged it in yet, so let's switch to that branch. Guess probably it's going to be this one. No, just take that. So, okay, so what are we doing here? We are fixing the text mode browser, so check that we're on the latest branch, yes. Okay. Okay. So we got this little browser thing that seems to be working. So let's just make sure the screen is sized right. Okay. Then we can spread that a bit wider. Eventually, we're going to size everything. Oh, really? No grabbing bars? Oh no, no grabbing bars. Oh, very faint. Wow. Something about when you're recording the screen, it's like only one pixel. Grab it. No. Oh my god. You know what? Let's just leave it at this size. All good. So, yeah, definitely don't want to watch that video of people dying. It's terrible. It is so surprising how many people have died in helicopter crashes. I mean, helicopters sound fun, but it's like, I really don't want to catch a helicopter now. It's like, what the hell? You know, like, ever. It's like if you want to take somebody out, there's some sort of bigwig, and they're inconvenient, chuck them in a helicopter, you know, and make the helicopter crash. I mean, you know, I guess it can't be too hard if that's your sort of cover story for whatever, because helicopters, they just want to fall out of the sky, right? They literally just want to fall out of the sky, and you have to do so much to keep them up there. And so, you know, I guess there's like 1,000 ways you could sabotage a helicopter. Whereas, you know, if you have a plane, it's got a lot of redundancy, right? Just like this software that we're building. You know, you break one thing. I mean, not in the text mode browser. The text mode browser right now is very fragile, but the browser that you see in the background here, I mean, this code base is so legacy and so built up and layered over time that, I mean, often it's hard to find the cause of a bug or reproduce it because it's got so much redundancy. Like, well, okay, this thing breaks, so it falls back to something else. This thing doesn't work, it falls, you know what I mean? So it's actually very reliable. But there's no overall sort of documentation or architecture outside of my knowledge of it that kind of that formalizes or expresses all of that stuff. Anyway, but I think we also have another bug to fix about like JS alerts, but I'm not gonna shift into that now. Anyway, I don't think that's really a bug. It's just a debugging thing that got left in. This is going to be a more verbal, session, because normally I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to explain shit, but today I'm just kind of in that mood, so I'm just going to be talking. Normally I think, you know, it's probably really boring. It's, you know, more boring to hear people talking, and you just want to kind of follow along with what they're working on. But today I'm going to be solving the bug with multiple tabs not working properly, and also some of these highlights we're not highlighting some of them. Okay, all of that appears like really good, but I think if something is partially off screen, like if a containing element is partially off screen, then like my hypothesis is we won't be able to highlight this when will they learn stuff. Look, and we can't, right? And I think the reason is because the test we do is, oh, it's technically off screen, but what we really care about is if any of its text boxes are actually, you know, on screen at all, because then we should be able to highlight it, you know, tab to it, right? I'm just tabbing through here now. And unlike a regular browser, this is a deliberate choice. Rather than tabbing through every tabbable element on the page and scrolling the page, we really just tab through the viewport. And I think it's actually quite important just to do that. And I think it's sort of the promise of the interaction. Yeah, there's a trade-off, right? You can say it's inconvenient in some sense, but I like being able to explore some different modes of interaction with something so ubiquitous and common as a browser. So one of the things that I like about this and doing this design is that I can choose to go, you know what? And see, that's another thing. I think we scrolled up to the top of the page or whatever just then. Or we scrolled up a little bit, but we haven't updated, I think we haven't updated the thing. So yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to, oh, it looks like we've even stopped rendering maybe. I'm not trying to like create all kinds of bugs. Oh no, it's come back now. I don't even know why. I'm not trying to like, you know, fix all the bugs. There's multiple bugs right now. Just gonna take it one step at a time. But getting back to the heavy verbiage today, it's like basically one of the things I like about this is I can go, okay, you know, I only want to focus on tabbing through the elements that are on page because I just think that's a useful feature. Yeah. You could think, oh, it's just a useful feature to explore, but I actually think this is actually a useful feature because it's like, it's sort of the viewport then is the sense of truth. We don't really care what's outside it. And in a sense, that's the design of the product. It's how it works because it's really about reducing all those distractions. And honestly, if I'm just looking for a piece of information or just a story that might interest me, I don't care at that moment what other stories are on the page. So if I'm tabbing through shit, I don't want to be distracted by or you know, scared of the possibility that my tabbing might kind of throw my page scroll off. I know that it's not going to. It's not going to go to some random place. It's just going to go over what's on the page. So yeah, there's a few reasons why some of the tabbing is, let me just check that I'm recording, good, is not working. Like in terms of some elements on page are not being tabbed to. Sometimes it seems like, oh, they're slightly off page, and that sounds like an easy fix. I believe it will be fairly easy. But then there's other weird things, whereas if we go to like a search result page, it's like we can't tab to the search results at all. They're rendering fine, perfectly, but we can't tab to them, which is really bizarre. And maybe we are, I think we are actually tabbing to them, but it's not displaying. And so perhaps it's not that much of a difficult bug to solve because there may be just like one, possibly two, hopefully, general classes of reasons why, okay, it's not gonna display the focus, but we're still tabbed to it. So then we can just fix that. Then it'll display the focus across all those classes. And this is really not something where you have to worry like, oh my god, we have to special case everything like a Chrome extension or browser extension generally. Where like you have to consider, the structure of this page and that page or whatever. It's not like that. It's more like we just have to handle general behaviors and then everything will be taken care of because we're dealing with the underlying architecture of an actual real web browser that's extremely competent, like the Chrome browser, right? Which is running the backend. Or you can run it with, Chromium variants, and I think you can even plug Firefox in to this as well. If you prefer a different engine in the background, there may be some inconsistencies in that case, and honestly, it has not been a priority to really work up compatibility with that because it's more of a niche thing. Like people prefer a different browser on the front, and then they kind of, just for their regular browser, and they think they're going to be uncomfortable with the idea of a different browser on the back. But basically right now we could support any Chrome browser 100%. I don't think the code for that is actually in there right now. And this is probably too much verbiage, but I can just rip the code out of my DN, formerly known as Disconnect project, which after, you know, much community request, many times people were like, I want this to support Firefox, or I want this to support, you know, Brave or something, and or Edge or whatever, and I added that support eventually. I'm not sure if Firefox is supported, it might be, but certainly all the Chromium browsers are supported and discovered and opened and so on. So it's certainly, I can just sort of enhance or replace my browser launching code in BrowserBox with the browser launching code from Disconnect, now known as DN. So yeah, if you're interested in archiving stuff offline and full text searching of content, check out that project DN on GitHub. It's under our Dusego company. If you go looking for BrowserBox or my profile, you'll find it. My profile is lowercase Oscar 0101. Lowercase Oscar 0101. So that's O0101. O for Oscar. Okay, anyway. So this is super heavy verbiage. Like I said, I can do this all day. But you probably, like, I just think my normal discipline for this stuff is I'm going to not be talking, I'm just going to be coding, because I think people find that a lot more interesting. Because it's fundamentally about software, I think. And, you know, I think a lot of people can relate to me in software, but probably, you know, far less people would be interested in or would kind of relate to what I'm actually, you know, just talking about around that. So, and that's not some, you know, bitterness or oh, woe is me. I think it's just realistic, and I'm trying to make something interesting. But today I just like could not be fucked, and I'm just like, you know, sleep deprived, and then, you know, sleep deprivation leads to disinhibition, and so I'm disinhibited today, and I'm just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do whatever. Okay, so you're getting a little bit of a picture of scrolling up and down here. I'm actually just scrolling with the cursors. You can scroll with the mouse, as you can see here. The reason you can see another browser behind this text browser is because we have transparency in this iTerm window, right? So we've got BrowserBox running here. It's totally normal, current mainstream of BrowserBox, installed via BBX, licensed, you know, everything's good. We can probably copy that text, you know, yay, look, copy to clipboard. So this is BrowserBox, right? This is how BrowserBox works. But, oh, and I actually clicked that. Okay, I'm honestly not that interested in this, but you can see, okay, the text browser is doing what the text browser is supposed to do, right? And I'm so into this text browser. I think it's such a fascinating idea, and I'm really, really into it. So anyway, the main problem today is what we want to deal with is the tab bar up here. Like, I'll cursor to it, or I'll, sorry. There we go. See, we've highlighted that tab, right? One is, I think, selecting the tab. Like, if I hit enter now, maybe it'll break. If I create a new tab, maybe it'll break. If I create two tabs, both to valid websites, and I try to switch between them, it might break, or I might get like interleaved updates from one page and then another. None of that should be happening. It should actually just be like one tab at a time, just focused on that, right? Just like a normal browser. The other thing that's happening is we're not consistently setting the page title in the tab bar header up there, and we're also not setting the URL in the Omnibox, which is super fucking weird to me. It's like all the code looks like it's setting the URL, but you know, that's how it is. You know, you have your expectation and you think, oh, the code's setting it in the URL, but like actually your assumption is wrong. It's like, oh yeah, that sets it in that, but it's not like doing what you think it is, or what you intend it to do is not actually touched by that code for some reason. It's actually done somewhere else or whatever. So, and to be honest, a lot of this text browser code was written by AI because I just was like, fuck, I just want to move quickly. And honestly, I'm super happy with it. Like, it's so fucking useful. I think right now this text browser thing, basically sitting on top of BrowserBox, is about 3,000 lines. And like, I could not have moved so quick on this. I think I started working on it 2 weeks ago. I could not have moved so quick on this without AI. Although, you know, and definitely to brag a bit here, but like, I also feel it's like sorry, I feel it's it's not even a brag. It's just like super like real, and like I don't know. I don't feel the need to brag, or maybe I do, but like it's not a brag as much as it is like a statement of actual competency and fact. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm exaggerating it, but like all of the BrowserVox code, which is like over 100,000 lines, was written by me, 100%. Yeah, 100% written by me. There were a couple of other contributors along the way, literally a handful, and most of them made like, you know, a change to documentation or like a one-line change to something. It was all basically kind of cosmetic shit. I don't think anyone touched basically the code base at all, in fact. And I'm happy with that. Like, I like to just take care of myself, but yeah. And to be honest, I was a bit afraid of involving our community because I had a vision that I was still working out for this, and I just wanted to push forward with that. At a certain point of stability, you know, maybe you can have a plugin system or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you've built your idea to a strong level, you can bring in other people, but while it's still the flame that you need to take care of yourself and protect it yourself, right? And so that, anyway, it wasn't so severe what I was thinking about when I was doing that. I just wanted to take care of it myself, and I didn't find any, you know, good random contributors on the internet who were super interested in doing it. Yet there were, you know, lots of people who were using this. Yeah. Anyway, so this is like a massive verbiage kind of narrative kind of thing today. So I'm super happy with this layout. You can see here, like, none of the stories are overlapping. We're basically getting the kind of stories that you're seeing there. There's no images trying to be displayed. We're not interested in trying to display images at all. It basically, like, we're getting like all of the stuff that you would expect. It makes me super happy to get this layout right. The complexity. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that now. I want to get into more, like, let's do some coding, right? But you can see that we're not, like, these two big story cards at the top are not being highlighted because they're sort of partially off screen, partially occluded by the top bar and partially occluded by, you know, just the top of the viewport. All right, so the first thing I want to fix is, like, we should be able to open multiple tabs and switch between them. Then maybe we can get into this focus stuff. Hopefully I've got enough disk drive space to, like, you know, lock this up for 1 hour or whatever, to record this. It would suck if it just broke after all this. Or if the mic wasn't recording. But hey, that might be better for some people. But then it wouldn't really make sense. What the fuck is happening all this time? Okay. I hope the mic doesn't fuck up. I've enjoyed saying this today, even if it's not going to be my normal plan. But yeah, I want to do this a lot, like, in terms of, like, I want to stream or record myself programming and stuff, because I think it's great marketing, but I also think it's great content. It's interesting content for people who are, you know, into, wow, Elizabeth Hurley looks great for 59. Holy crap. I mean, yeah. Incredible. Some people, they just age super well. Fantastic. Anyway, I mean, that was definitely worth it. You know, a diversion. Okay, so yeah, hopefully that lays everything out for you. And look, it displays, you know, Chinese. Fine. And where the hell did this come from? I have no idea why this is suddenly displaying, but that is I think it's a console log. Oh yeah, it's a console log on something, so maybe I can find that and kind of remove that as well. So let's get into it then. It looked like maybe something. Is that gonna, oh yeah, it's good, got weird shit. Okay, fuck you, kid. Debug URL. Okay, so it's nothing there. What about status line? I mean, it could be that, I guess. It could be this rendered boxes thing in here. Yeah, I think because I clicked on something that wasn't anything. And then that must be, oh no, we have status line up the top, right? It's actually, yeah, we should put that under debug. Okay, so that will fix that, good. And I'm actually gonna make some commits that give you an indication today, just to, I don't know, to show I can do it. No, I don't give a shit. I never do that. There's no point. I just need to move fast, you know. I already know what I did, and I can see what I did if I look through the log. I don't need a fucking commit message to explain it. I'm not saying there's no value to commit message. I'm just saying the way that I work, I don't use that. And also it makes it harder for people to rip off the software by trying to look through the Git log as well. But I honestly don't think I give a shit about that side of it, because any committed adversary could easily fucking just look through the log and figure it out as well. But basically, for your benefit today, maybe you'll feel more comfortable if I make a commit message that actually says something. I'm not going to try to make it good, though. See? It's not good. I mean, yeah, it's not great, but it's, you know, it's not just okay. But maybe I'll just go back to okay. Huh. See? We're very fond of okay here. Okay, so obviously it's not live reload, we have to restart it, but there's something else I wanted to kind of look at, right? Which was maybe, I guess we can verify that worked now. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but it's got a little ditzy tune. So if I click around here, yeah, so it's not complaining now. Yay, okay, and I should be able to click on this article. Yeah, and I can, so, you know, I'd say we have like 80% features done, 70% features. The biggest thing was getting the text layout working, and like I'm super happy with that. Look at that nice little layout over on the right. You know, I think you can see where my cursor is. I mean, to get all this layout right, it is not easy. The reason is, even we got the layout boxes, they're not possible to just put them on the terminal screen, because terminal screen uses monospace text and it's all the same size, and so you have to like deconflict boxes because you're going to get overlaps, right? You can see, and we've moved them across, but then you can't just move lines across because boxes are arranged, you know, just Gestalt design where like things are arranged proximally and lined up, you know, horizontally and vertically because they're associated with each other, and that, you know, visual flow is part of the layout and design of the page, which makes it easy to comprehend visually, easy for the eye. It's the expected layout, and so you can't fuck with that. And getting that right was a fucking massive achievement. And I want to say that I wanted to throw AI at that and just get AI to solve all the problems, and I tried and it just hit a dead end. So all of the big ticket problems here, I had to go into the code and do the thinking myself to go, oh, this is what it is, this is the reason, this is how we overcome it. And so I designed the strategy for all the major code. And I am proud to brag about that. I am bragging about that, but I'm not exaggerating what I did. I'm just super proud of that because, like, that was an achievement. And I also, you know I'm a great, would I say I'm a great programmer? Yeah, I'm a pretty fucking great programmer because I've produced these, you know, basically massive solo projects and maintained them for many years and finished products, you know what I mean, that are highly popular and used by people. So popular that when I made a few of them paid, they were like crazy emails. People were so angry, you know. So if you're so angry, you're obviously really desiring to use it, right? Okay, but what I'm saying is, like, I'm a great programmer. I'm a great developer and engineer. But like, I just wanted to throw AI at it, and I don't have a kind of insecurity about using AI, you know, because some people, they're very good engineers and they don't want to use AI. But like, I literally just wanted to use AI and wanted to move fast. But it was also nice for me to know that even though I've used a lot of AI over the last couple of years, it's like I can still get in and muck it if I need to. You know what I mean? Like, I know that I haven't lost it at all. In some sense, I've become a much better software guy because I get to think about the big picture stuff all the time rather than just sort of being into it, intuitive, muscle memory, and just diving in and programming, right? Which is a very different experience to like, you know, going, okay, here's the design, you choose how we implement it. And so basically working with AI is like you have a whole team with you and you're the basically lead designer. And sometimes I want to just throw everything at AI, but it's right now it's really not capable of solving the massive problems, even in the context of a code base where it has written it from the ground up. Like these 3,000 lines in these 3 or 4 files, in this text, basically this text-based fucking harness that sits next to BrowserBox to give you this experience. AI is still not capable of solving the big problems. Like, how do we solve the layout algorithm problems? Like, it devised some great layout algorithm ideas. It did all of the heavy lifting, and by heavy lifting I mean, you know, it implemented all the algorithms. It got all the fucking, you know, all the off by one errors, all the loop conditions, all of the iterations. It got all of that correct, and it totally can implement that, you know, 1,000 times over. It can do that. But then there are some kind of subtle problems, and even if it has the context, sometimes it can't imagine the solution. Not yet. And so it was very gratifying for me to like go in, and even though I don't have an insecurity about being a programmer, it was still nice to know that like I've used AI a lot, but I can still go in and I can still be like the boss. I can still be the boss and like fucking, you know, I can still push it around in terms of, yeah, I'm still the one who has the ability to do this programming and to solve the big problems. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't feel bad about that in terms of like, because I have earned my little place here. You know, I've earned my big place here because I did a lot of programming for a lot of years. And so like all of that work that ChatGPT is doing, I have done that in the past. Like I could have done that in this case, but I don't think I could have, like no way could have done it as fast. And I don't just mean, obviously I couldn't have, you know, produced code as fast, but no way I could have even conceptualized the right way to approach some of these things as fast. Like it has an incredible ability to implement a lot of complex kind of structures and ideas and all that. And the entire, and I'm not just using ChatGPT, I'm using Grok. Grok is basically my go-to now. It's fantastic. It is really, really good. It's better than ChatGPT now because it has so much more context. Its reasoning ability is better in my experience. But yeah, I don't have any insecurity about using that, and I don't really feel, I'm not like, oh my god, I'm not a programmer. And for some people who are just coming to programming now, they don't even relate to what I'm saying, but there's a lot of people who have been in programming for a long time who are threatened by AI, or they struggle with it in some sense, you know, their relationship to it or whatever. But yeah, I don't have any issues with that. But even so, it was so nice to just kind of see, like, oh yeah, I can still solve the big problems. So it was like I wouldn't say cherry on top, but it was like a sweet experience to be like, it is so satisfying working with this AI. I'm pulling this stuff off and seeing it. I love working with them, actually. I really do. It's like a great team effort. But often I just don't want to fucking think about the problems. I just want to give it to the AI, solve it quickly, move on to the next thing, you know. But sometimes I get stuck. And I liked seeing that when that happened, you know, I could, and I got better at identifying those things where it was getting stuck and where I needed to get into the code. Like really going in, just like dial in for like an hour, dial in for, you know, some deep work and just have no idea of the time that's passed. You know, I'm just in that zone and boom, I solve it and like move forward. And so I like being that guy who can do that. but honestly, I probably don't need to be. It was just nice to experience that, to know that like working with AI has not sort of eroded my ability to program. It has certainly made me not less enjoying programming, but less wanting to actually sit down and code this. Was like, I could just ask the AI to do it, and why wouldn't I? Because then I can do it quicker. So it is like a fantastic experience. I love working with the AI so much, and I know a lot about JavaScript, so I'm not learning that much from the AI in the JavaScript sense. So I pick up a few. Oh, that's an interesting way to do it. That syntax is kind of interesting. That kind of pattern or idiom, that's interesting, right? But I'm not learning that much. But if I work in a language that I don't fucking know that well, like C or like the what is it, Objective C or something like that for the macOS apps, man, I just learned so much. Or even Bash, like I've learned so much more Bash from working with AIs on Bash, to the extent where like just passively absorbing what's going on in my collaborations with AIs. Now I can program in Bash fairly well, and I haven't even tried to learn it. It's just emerged out of passively sort of just observing and being a participant in those collaborations with AIs. Now I can do it. So I love the AI shit so much. It's so fun and it's great. But yeah, I don't need it, and I'm a real programmer who was here before that, and that's not me feeling insecure needing to say that. That's just me like wanting to honor my past and be like, yeah, fuck yeah, I knew how to program before. So like anyone who thinks like, oh, I'm just using AI, no, I can actually do it. But also knowing that I can jump into the code and solve it, and I think that's some of it's just my problem solving ability, and some of it's my deep experience with programming, and some of it's a bit of both. I just love this whole experience, and I'm just trying to express it clearly. And yeah, I'm bragging, but I'm not exaggerating here, and I'm not insecure about it. It often, people might think, oh, if you're saying something where you're proud of yourself or whatever, yeah, you must be insecure, but that's not how it is. And I think there definitely can be like that. I'm like that sometimes. It's like you have a weakness in this, and so you compensate by kind of saying, no, it's like this. But sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes it's just like some trauma or whatever that you not actually have a weakness about. It's just someone has said something mean to you in the past, and you haven't resolved that emotion. And then, you kind of have a self-doubt about it, which is actually just not real. And so you kind of react when, someone maybe says something that reminds you of that, right? And so it sounds like you're insecure, but even then, it's not like you're not insecure about it. You just had some doubt that came from someone else's criticism of you or whatever, and so you haven't done the processing of that doubt to go, oh yeah, right, I'm actually fucking good at this, you know what I mean? And that person had no fucking idea what they were talking about. So like I've definitely gone through that a lot of times, and sometimes I think I've just been genuinely insecure about stuff, but I just want to like make it clear, because clear communication to me, like expressing myself honestly and clearly, is really important. Is like, about programming, I am not insecure, but I love working with AI, and I also love, and I enjoy that feeling of like, yeah, I can solve those problems. I can still solve those problems. Yeah, it's just a really enjoyable experience. Okay, I told you I can do massive verbiage, and I'm just doing it, but like, you don't need to be hearing all this stuff. Maybe some people find this interesting. Just kind of sharing a bit of myself and my experience here. But basically, normally in these videos, I'm just going to be doing programming and literally not narrating, and no verbiage at all. But today, like I said, I'm just like, oh, fuck it, I'm just gonna say whatever. Okay, so we've got a couple of problems that we're dealing with today. One is the tabs thing. Maybe we'll get to the highlighting, the tabbing to stuff that's slightly off screen. Did you notice that it seems like some of these guys here, they did not tab through, right? Like the images did, but it seems like the article cards containing these texts may have a descendant that is actually sort of partially occluded, and so it may be tripping our test. Or there could be some other sort of case why that's not happening. So anyway, we'll figure all that stuff out, maybe not in this session. The main thing we want to solve here is what happens when we click, right? So when I click, okay, we're getting that, but is the page fucked now? No, okay, the page is not fucked, right? So that kind of works, right? What happens if I close it? Great. Okay, so we broke when it closed it. What happens if I create a second tab? Oh, now we do have a second tab. And what happens if I go to it? It's probably going to break because it's got no text boxes. Okay, we've broken on something else, but it didn't break the browser. You can see the back end, it actually correctly, interpreted that as a search and sent it through. So that's two little bugs we can solve right now. So let's get in and do them. I wish I could pause this for a sec, but I can't. So I probably can't show you some other video because it's like copyrighted then, right? But I don't know, maybe I can't show you that because it's copyright too. Okay, just look at this page while I go and relieve myself momentarily. Okay, we're back, and we have another drink. The coffee's all run out, and now we only have some bubble water. I love this fucking Schweppes bubble water, man. I just love it. I could drink it all day. I love the bubbles. I feel it's healthy for me. Yeah. All right, so let's get into it now. So we have two little problems, and obviously you can see that BrowserBox itself is not affected by this, because what we basically have is we have a client in this text client that's connecting to BrowserBox essentially. It's also connecting to the browser backend itself directly, and it's also connecting to BrowserBox. And so we're kind of handling data from both of those things to put together this little experience with the text. So let's look at this. We've got invalid URL at handle address key. Okay, so 841. Let's check that shit out. Maybe we can close that off. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Now that's interesting because in other places we actually correctly interpret it as a search. Right. We don't actually want to make the title like that. I don't need to set the title there. So I just delete that because the title should be set elsewhere. Let's see if we're setting it anywhere else as well. So delete that as well. Delete that as well. Okay, I don't know what I did because the other day I wasn't getting these log messages and I was like, it was unknown, my shit was failing. Okay, so, alright, so it actually seems like things are working as expected. I thought there was in fact a bug. So I would expect we're actually going to get data from both pages here. You know what's weird is we should be scrolling down this page, but we're not. Even though it's so weird, like, oh, we were, but oh, I get it. So the backend BrowserBox it just wasn't acting the frame because this window was not focused. Right. I mean, if I really wanted to try to keep you guys in sync with it, I'm not too worried about what's happening in BrowserBox because I know it's basically working. Any bugs in there will be like 1,000 times rarer than in this, but there are still bugs in there, 100%. But anyway, the point is today is not to fix those bugs in BrowserBox. It's just to work on the text side of it, which is called Kernel, by the way. Kernel Browser, Kernel. I mean, maybe we can pick a better name, but that's it for now. That pistachio thing looks pretty fucking tasty. Oh my god. Okay. But the reason that page didn't match up was just because we hadn't, this BrowserBox here hadn't acknowledged the screenshots because it was not focused and sort of, Chrome or whatever has garbage collected it momentarily, or you know, the app sort of slowed down the JavaScript in it because it's not the focused window kind of thing. It's probably something like that. But actually, yeah, we are. Now we're sort of there. So the other day, this was not working. So having these kind of tabs, it was all breaking and it wasn't working properly. Like, and we were getting data from both at the same time. But now it seems that is not a problem. And we're just able to switch, which is really cool. I'm so happy. Like, wow, okay. And again, you can see we're not hacking it properly, which is funny. Anyway. Now let's, okay. What do you guys want to search for? And why are we having so much Chinese stuff here? I think our VPN is in the wrong location right now. Let's, well, I must have another VPN connected.